you've become so fixated on the thoughts and the words that you regurgitate them so repeatedly that you've become lost in that focus, so lost at the tunnel vision end. And of course, if you're right down there at that narrow end of the spectrum, then you're trying to look at life through this tiny, tiny little pinprick, and everything is closed in. So take a few moments again. Now close your eyes, and I want you to notice what happens to your sense, your state of awareness of yourself, your essence, everything that's happening in the room, everything that's happening in life. What happens to that when you are focused in on a thought? Simple, isn't it? You notice it's as if the rest of existence or reality momentarily vanishes because your whole attention is in that tunnel end of the vision. Now, I'll go back to what I was saying before, is that if you really start to see and observe that very focal point is so finite, it is not even a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck of existence of what you are, of awareness, you'll start to see that these thoughts are just like floating, rising and falling in this vast backdrop of pure beingness, pure awareness, consciousness. So I recommend you try this little experiment with yourself. And this is something I did as a child. I watched this. I watched the play of thoughts and the appearance of form, just almost like breath, just rising and falling in and out. And all of that was just this whole endless field of creation, of energy, of light, of consciousness. And that the thoughts themselves were almost non-existent compared to this vastness of pure beingness and consciousness. So really explore that. Notice that actually your real nature is the silence from which those thoughts are emerging. It's the stillness from which all events are rising and falling in flux. And you are that. If you really look at the nature of yourself, and that body mind is changing, you can't trap it, you can't fix it, it's not going to stay from one moment to the next, and all of that is just occurring in this field of awareness and consciousness, then you start to realize actually everything is consciousness. That's your true nature. And that remains unchanged, untouched, unstained by any event. It's unbreakable. You can't put it out. It is a constant illumination. Everything is a light within it. And so if you start to observe this nature of yourself and your thoughts, something really magical happens. So let's look at the funnel again, and you start to use that tool of the mind as an observing tool rather than a defining tool. Your energy expands, and already your range of perception has widened.